Hello, I'm Christina Flach, and welcome to I'm Too Busy. This week's episode is all about the world of sports. Every guest you'll meet has built an incredible career, whether they're an athlete, a broadcaster, or an agent. We talk about what it really takes to succeed and how they take care of their health and their wellness, and what do they do when life throws a curveball. I also ask two of my favorite questions. What do you do when your day isn't flowing, and where is your happy place? I think you're going to love these conversations. They're full of life's lessons, and it has nothing to do whether if you're in sports or not. Please like, subscribe, comment, and share. Let's do it.
I mean, I was a makeup artist and I'm a CEO of a makeup company. And then I got asked to be a beauty expert on NBC on California Live, which scared the crap out of me. And then this TV station, Bold Brave TV in New York, contacted me and asked me if I would do a show. And I just was like, I learned that getting comfortable, being uncomfortable led to amazing things that normally I would have said, oh, hell no, I'm a makeup artist, I'm behind the camera girl. But one of the blessings of my job is definitely the gift with purchase is that I get to meet the most amazing people, like both of you. And it's it's like I've got, I could speak to any of my clients. I have Cameron Brink's one of my clients. She's had an extraordinary, she's amazing. And, Jaylen Brown, and those are just some athletes. So it's so interesting where our careers lead us. I mean, look at Bill. He's been with the Lakers a really long time. Do you like that, Bill, just being with the one team? It's as opposed to like what you used to do before with the different sports?
That was a very good transition, by the way. You did that very nicely.
Thank you. And do you like that I'm looking forward? Because Bill and I had lunch last week at the Four Seasons in San Francisco, and he's looking at my show and he's like, "What the fuck are you doing? Look at the camera." And I'm like,
no, she did. She played it. She played this.
Well, I was trying to I had it like there so I could see, and it was the whole thing. So
it was reading off the prompter, and the prompter was like over here. So she's like, "Welcome everyone to I'm Too Busy," and I'm like, "What are you doing? You got to look at where the or move the prompter." I know Noah's going to say this. If I could do everything without a prompter, I'd do it without a prompter. Yeah. My man is like, let's just do it. You're prepared and you do it. And I haven't been with the Lakers that long. I mean, I've done a lot of pre and post game shows and play-by-play for like 40 something years. This is my 14th or 15th year with the Lakers, which is pretty long. I mean, it's
half time.
It's a long time. I'm very grateful for it. Trust me. But it's, do I like doing one thing now opposed to, I miss all the other sports. I do miss the variety, but I love doing the one team, and I love having all summer off, by the way. I have all summer off, and he knows what that's like, but he would go right back to work and do stuff in the summertime, as I used to do too. But my boss says, no, we want you to take the summer off. And it's different. We're at completely different parts of our careers. Noah's he's blowing up. He's blowing up. Okay.
He is blowing up.
I know he is. No, I'm saying so many nice things about you. It's ridiculous.
I know you're going to get a dozen roses, Bill, at the end. You'll be getting him, and FedEx is going to send him tomorrow.
So I admit I'm playing the back nine. I hope I'm only on hole 11 and not hole 17. But what I'm saying is totally different. So it's like you don't have to try to do something in the summer if you're getting paid enough and you have a wonderful job and you can afford to take that time off. That's been really good for me. So
that's really nice.
Then you're ready to go. And then you're ready to go when the season begins. Like right now, you're ready to go.
That's true.
Yeah.
Noah, so you're constantly doing different sports, different networks. Does it get, you're too busy, clearly. How do you keep that from getting out of control?
You don't. You just accept the chaos and move forward with it. I think it's all a learning experience. It was weird for me because the year I started my career was 2019, 2020 for the NBA season. So I started, my first Clipper game was Clippers Lakers. That was, I think, October 22nd, 2019. It was that first LeBron AD, Kawhi in a Clipper uniform. It was awesome in there. And I just kind of got right into it, and there's no stopping once you're in the season. As Bill knows, you just keep going and going and going and going. And the weird thing about that one was in March, everything shut down and COVID hits and the league stops. And now I'm looking around, I'm saying, well, what am I supposed to do? And so there were 3 months where there was nothing to do. And then when it started back up again, I had tennis stuff in June of 2020. And then July is when the bubble kind of started things up. And I went full steam ahead. And from that point on, up until probably summer of 2023, when I moved from LA back to New York, I was working. I don't think there was any real off time. And I just accepted that because I knew that was the stage of my life and my career. This is the time to do it. When I'm young and on my own, and I don't really have anything that's tying me down, so I might as well just let it rip and see what happens. So I've been happy with how that's turned out, and now I've gotten to a place where I can at least try to balance it a little bit more. We'll see if I can get at least part of the summer off. I think that'd be a nice little part.
Oh man, no, he's doing like everybody. Like it's crazy. You just do it. It's nuts. And I said I did everything, and I was working constantly. And then when I had kids, then it was like, everybody would say, "Well, do you want to pursue a network job?" Like, my man here is already in a network job. So he's going to, kind of graduate to this, to that, to change and everything. And it's constantly changing. I mean, his dad is now the number one. He took over for Jim Nance, and he'll be doing the NCAAs and all that stuff. So he's already there, but I didn't even pursue it after a while because I said, I want to hang with my kids.
Yeah.
I want to be home and I want to be with kids. You got to make choices. And when Noah has that family, he'll be making choices too, what's going to fit out best for him. Like that. But you're busy. It's fun, but you're busy. You're busy.
Big time.
Exactly.
I think our careers are, we always think like this is the last job we have. I mean, I think we all have that in common. So we never say no to anything. We're always like, oh yeah, I'll do that. Yeah, I'll do that, because we never know when we're going to get hired again. That is a weird thing. Normal people, civilians, normal people that don't.
Yeah.
Well, that, like, my sister is an executive for Costco. She has a normal job. She knows when she's going to work. She knows when she's going on vacation. I have no idea about anything. When my agent calls, that's when I go. And I mean, I'm sure you guys feel the same, except Bill's got a fancy life now because he's Mr. Ladies.
Huge cars, big following, mansion.
Yeah. Mansion. Yeah.
Yeah. I have a great background with a refrigerator.
Look at that.
Yeah, that's really cool.
But that fridge is stocked with excellence, so it's all good.
If you open
all that healthy food. Speaking of healthy food, let's just chat about wellness for a moment. Bill, what do you do to stay healthy and in good shape? Do you exercise? Do you have a certain diet?
Yeah.
What is it that you're? Because I saw what you ate last week. Do you want to talk about that sandwich that you had?
Oh my God!
Four Seasons?
We're in San Francisco.
Noah. This is legendary.
What did I say to you? So I read this thing on the menu.
The menu. Yeah.
On the menu, and it sounded kind of good. And when this showed up, and I literally said,
it was a heart attack on a plate, an artery clogger. He's like, take me to St. Francis Hospital after, but I'm going to eat this and then take me.
The fourth thing I've ever seen in my entire life. It's called like the big cheese or something, like with.
Yes.
Yeah, don't go there.
But
what? It did taste good, but I only ate half. Yeah, exactly.
He only ate half. I will give him that. It had bacon in it that was like an inch thick.
Yeah,
Did it not, Billy Mack?
Listen, it's balance. You can't go nuts. I mean, people do. Some people do. I mean, look, I guess this is like a confessional or something, even though I'm not Catholic. I'm in the confessional. But the thing is like, I don't drink. Okay, that has nothing to do with I'm not sober for like 30 years or something like that, or religious or anything like that. But like, I don't. So if you do, you got to balance that. If you like to eat too much, you got to balance that, because then you're going to get tired. You're going to do this. You're going to do that. I'll go to the gym. I'll do that when you're on the road. You got to. Now I play golf. I mean, I used to play much better. Pickleball. My God, that's for just, you move about 3 feet. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Yeah, you're not going to really sweat that much on pickleball. Am I wrong?
Oh, you're not wrong. I've never played, but I just know from my extensive research and background.
When you have a golf tournament, a full field is 144 players. I had almost 160 players for my event. So yeah. Plus I had celebrities. I had John Taylor. I had Chris Wondolowski of the San Jose Earthquakes. I had a bunch of celebrities that were also playing in this tournament. So I had a full field, which was great. It's a great problem to have. And then I had another 220 showing up for just the dinner, the roast, and the actual fundraising part of it later in the afternoon at 5. It was so big, the club
That's
had to move it
amazing.
outside because they just couldn't accommodate 220 people in the ballroom where it was originally planned. So it was it was unbelievable. It came off great. Everybody was in a great mood. There was an article in our local newspaper that came out, a nice write up on it. So it came out great, and we're in the beginning stages of talking about another one in 2025. We will see.
So what great advice did those guys give you that surprised you?
Tina Turner told me to stay out of it. There was no way I was going to do that. And Bob Hammer said, hey, whatever you do, you make sure that you go around and you thank every golfer that plays, everybody that attends. You thank the sponsors, you thank the merchants. You drive around that golf cart like you're Bob Hope. Google him, kids, if you never heard of him. But anyway, yeah, just kind of being the ambassador of it, and just making sure that everybody has a good time. You want people to go back to their car at the end of the day and go, man, that was a good time. What's he got planned for next year?
That's so great. So how do you balance all the various aspects of your job with your life? How do you keep balance in your life, or do you have balance in your life?
Well, the name of the show is "I'm Too Busy," right? Man, it's
you gotta
hey,
talk a little bit about your
you're
busy
running.
life. You're a person I know.
Well, Christina, you and I we're a couple of grinders. I mean, all we do is work. I mean, we're just running around, running, and I'm one of those guys that takes this passion and really puts maybe too much work in it. But I just can't. I can't stop. I can't stay away. I mean, my the morning hits. I do whatever honeydew chores that I can do for my wife, who's off camera here, who's listening, and
Hi, Nicole.
and once I do that, it's she's saying hi. She's waving. All right, so so there's that, and then you got to be a dad. You got to tend to the kids, and then you've got kind of what pays for the roof over your head, and so it is a tightrope that you walk. I mean, it is really hard, because in order to really be good at this job, it doesn't take some of you, it takes all of you. You can't cut corners, you can't take shortcuts, you can't cheat the grind, because the grind always knows how hard you're working.
It's true. It's absolutely true.
Where's your happy place?
You mean physically? Like a physical place to go?
Yes.
It's a great question. I haven't been there a little while in the wake of these fires, but since I moved to LA, I joined the Malibu Racket Club run by our mutual friend Trey Walke.
Our Trey, and we love Trey.
And I joke, one of the great things about being there, Trey lived in Northern California for a time and played even before then at the Berkeley Tennis Club, where I used to play also. And Trey knows that club, so I can talk about both of them with him. At the Berkeley Tennis Club, I really liked, of the 10 courts, I like court 3 and 4. At Malibu, has 8 courts. I think I feel really happy on court 6 and 7 there. Those are courts I really enjoy.
Okay, those are your happy places. Nice.
Those are happy places. Those are 2 happy places. But I would also say, since Malibu has only been, I've played there only half the time compared to 99% of the time at Berkeley. So I'd say the happy place would be a tennis court. I played just recently at the Los Angeles Tennis Club on clay. So I guess I would say it's a tennis court, because I've worked expansive with both my friends and my tennis here. So I'd say it's a tennis court. I mean, so I met someone the other day who I'm going to play with next week, and this person and I are going to go play in Malibu, and I really have no idea how skilled this person is in tennis, and I don't care. I didn't even ask that. It doesn't matter. I just being on a court, whatever the present moment calls for.
Have you been to that court? Do you remember Tony Graham?
The court, yes, the Goldstein court.
You know what? The Goldstein, Jimmy Goldstein. Have you played on that court?
I've written about that court, but I've never played on that court. That's a neat court with a neat view. That would be fun to do sometime. Have you played there? Have you been there?
I have played there. My husband
Oh,
played
wow.
there. And so, yeah, I hit some balls there with him and Tony, and it was fun.
Tony Graham took me on a tour of the late
Yes.
Graham, a neat
The
person.
lake.
He showed me that.
Yes.
Very neat, Jimmy.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think to me also, whether it's a court like that that's up in the hills of Los Angeles,
Iconic with a view that's like cantilevered out on a cliff, and it's got no wall, like no. It's
to me,
remarkable.
I'll tell you a story though. Recently, there's a forecourt. The place where I played, the guy who I tasted the blood, Barrington Park. There's a forecourt park within walking distance of where I'm sitting in Brentwood, where I grew up, and that's the ancestral court. And every player has the ancestral court, the one where it starts. And you feel,
Yes.
and I played something. I played a colleague there a few weeks ago, and we'd never played before. And I realized that's my thing about carrying the past and the present all at once. So I played him on the same court where I played that match where I tasted blood in 1974. And so to me, I guess I would say the happy place would be a tennis court. And sure, a court with a neat view of LA, that's neat, but a public park, fine too. It's like, because I'm carrying it all with me. I'm carrying all this tennis with me wherever I am, whoever it is.
Right. Where's your favorite tennis court? And it could be a tournament, like a pro event.
Well, okay, my favorite tennis court, even though I'll never play on it, was Center Court Wimbledon.
Right. It's iconic.
I had Wimbledon. I started doing something a number of years ago. I don't do it all the time, but I do it frequently. My work in television, my work for Tennis Channel, involved getting to the All England Club fairly early, 7:38 in the morning, and I would put my stuff in the studio where we worked. It's right next to my desk is often right next to the makeup person in the studio, and I park my stuff there. I would go to Center Court at Wimbledon. No one's on it. And I'd sit by myself and listen to a song. I did that the summer my wife got very sick and ended up dying. I would just sit in Center Court. It was kind of a meditative moment and take in Center Court. And that's the most favorite court in all of tennis. And you take in all the kind of ghosts and legends and people and stories that have occurred there and just kind of take it in. And I'm so lucky to live and work in my passion.
What do you do when your day isn't flowing?
When my day isn't?
When it's not flowing, it's just like bumpy. What do you do?
Take a break. In other words, reset and try to change the environment quickly. Don't sit in the same seat. Go for a walk. Or get some perspective and proportionality. When I was at my darkest in fighting alcohol, I finally got an epiphany that said, I'm not a starving peasant in Darfur. I don't have the last name Steinberg in Nazi Germany in the 30s. I don't have cancer, so I go into the office every day expecting that, notwithstanding our best efforts at preparation, something will go awry, some third party, something will happen that frustrates us. And it's just part of life. If you're prepared for that, then the reverses won't seem so dramatic or upsetting.
Who was the baseball player that you looked up to most when you were a child? Because I know that you were a bat boy for the Brooklyn Dodgers when you were little. That must have been an exciting moment for you.
Yeah, it really was. Parents from New York. Dad was from Long Island. My mother was too. She lived in Baldwin. Dad lived in Glen Cove. My grandfather was a Brooklyn policeman. So Dad was a Dodger fan. Mom was a Yankee fan. So growing up, I was born in 1948. So in the 50s, and late 40s, the Yankees pretty much dominated the Dodgers. So my mother gloated a lot. She wasn't too bad, Big Joe, she loved him a lot. So she just said, sorry, Joe, we won again. He'd smile. But in end of March of 1956, Dad was a Greyhound bus driver, and he came home and he sat down at dinner and he looked at me. He said, do you want to skip school tomorrow? And I said, wow, you've never said that before. What are we going to do? He said, well, I got a charter to pick up the Brooklyn Dodgers and take him to St. Petersburg to play the Yankees in an exhibition game. And it would be the first time the two teams had seen each other since the end of September of the fall of '55 when the Dodgers won in 7 games. So that next day, I got a chance to bat boy and lug the heavy bats out to the dugout and the ball bag and the helmets and stand there as the Yankees were taking batting practice and Mickey Mantle was hitting these big home
Wow.
runs into Pinellas Bay. And then all of a sudden having Gil Hodges say to me, son, you want to play catch? And my mother had just bought me a brand new Rawlings Heart of the Hide glove. And it was the best they made. It was $9.95.
Wow.
And my dad and 2 of the gentlemen had just started the second little league in Tampa, and it was going to start 4 days later. So I was going to put on a uniform for the first time, have this new mitt. So she said, "Don't you lose it." So what do? You put it on your belt, right? So I'm fumbling. I get the glove and finally get my hand, and Mr. Hodges arched the ball to me, and I throw it back to him, and he's gentle again. I'm thinking, Mr. Hodges, I'm starting Little League on Saturday. I can catch. And I threw it back to him and I hear, and I look and it was Mickey hitting this towering fly ball and boom, ball hits me in the chest. Somebody had said something
No.
to Gil and
Oh
he
my
turned around
gosh.
and just tossed it to me. And it didn't hurt, it knocked the wind out more. And he came running over. He's a great family man. And he said, "You okay, son?" And I said, "Yes, sir." And he said, son, and this was the first teaching moment away from my family. He said, "Were you looking at Mickey?" I said, "Yes, sir." He said, "Son, we're the world champions." I looked at him and said, "Yes, sir."
Wow.
So it's like the old, uh, you got to dance with the one you took to the dance
Right.
to the girl for us guys. Don't be dancing with anybody
Wow.
else. Don't be looking at
Wow.
the Yankees. We're the world champions.
And I tell all these great golfers that I play with, golf is a weird sport because when you're really good at it, um, when you're really good at it, when you start sort of going in the other direction, when you start getting older and you're not as good as you were when you were younger, and let's just say you're shooting even par every round, you're scoring, you're 72, you're breaking 70 all the time, you're breaking into the 60s sometimes too. And all of a sudden you start shooting in the 80s, and so guys start hating that and they start quitting the game. I've never been that good, so like I just have to take it for what it is. And so for me, it's a lesson in composure and sort of
Patience, don't you think?
it's how to have fun and give up your expectation of how you play. It's really a great way to sort of test your life skills of being able to have fun in the face of adversity. And so like to me, because like sometimes your body hurts and sometimes it's just really a challenging sport, as you know, because your husband played, your ex-husband played, your kids play, your daughter played. I mean, you've been around the game and you hear the frustrations of that game.
Oh,
But I tell you what, though, it's the most social, greatest game. I can't imagine life without it.
it's true. I mean, what is Rose's famous quote? She says she's one shot away from offing herself.
I'm
My
telling
daughter
you,
that played Division I golf, I'm one
yeah,
shot away from offing myself.
golf is a cruel sport too. Like the bounces of the ball and all the things that can happen to you. It's a cruel sport, but I just can't imagine life without golf in my life.
So, do you find that a lot of basketball players are, we know Steph Curry's like scratch, right? And then are there a lot of players that, after they retire or that are playing that are golfing that you know of?
Well, look, I mean, like, when you finish playing and you've got to find something else to compete in, because that's one of the things that you kind of get addicted to when you're a professional athlete is you get addicted to competing,
Mm-hmm.
and you want to be the best and you want to beat the best. And so you got to find that next thing that allows you to compete at kind of that same level, to find that high of victory, of winning. And so it might be your club championship, playing in your member guest, playing in the club championship, like playing in a match against friends. I mean, it could be just as simple as I played today with our friend Tom Tolbert, who's in town from San Francisco. We played here at my home course here in Minnesota. We just had a friendly game, and I just beat him, and I had so much fun beating Tom Tolbert. It was great. I got a little bit of a thrill. So yeah, so I mean, like it's just fantastic. It's a way to compete and not get hurt. It's one of the greatest gifts you can give a kid because it's a game you can play for your whole life. And when you're good at it,
True.
you get asked to play a lot with friends. And so it's one of those things I tell women all the time, get your daughters to play golf, get your boys to play golf, get the golf club in their hand, because it's a social sport that can do so much for them. From a success standpoint, Christina, I think that your kids, when they get older, when Nick gets older, when Ben gets older, when they realize what this game is going to do for them in business, professionally,
it's huge. It's monumental.
It's huge.
It opens a lot of doors. That's for sure.
I just like, women don't underestimate what this game can do for your kids. And for the girls too, like even more so for the girls, because actually, one of the most underutilized college scholarships is the women's golf scholarship. They're giving them out, and if your girl can compete, she can get some school for free. And so I just think it's super important.
So has college recruitment changed in the last few years, or has it kind of been similar as it's always been?
Dramatic changes, dramatic seismic changes. And I'll try to be brief here, but it's incredible how much this has changed in the last 5 to 10 years from when I started learning about it years ago to where it is today. The first is how coaches are communicating with you. So 10 years ago, one of the things you absolutely needed to have and send to every coach is a resume. So a rundown of who you are, your tournament highlights, your recent tournaments, your upcoming tournaments, that needed to be in every single email you sent. Now, I think probably less than 5% of coaches are interested in that. What coaches have shifted their focus to in a lot of ways is Instagram. You see coaches that are so active on Instagram. They have accounts. Their teams have accounts. They're messaging students sometimes. Some coaches, that's the way they prefer to communicate, with Instagram direct message. So it's interesting from a technological standpoint, how much coach communication has shifted. And it's shifted because they're seeing that's where the students are going, right? Students are not as likely to make a big resume and send it to them anymore. And part of the reason is that these scores, they don't have to be written down and emailed to a coach. The coach can find these online very easily. So it's an antiquated method to use a resume. And Instagram is something that I do recommend most of our students, if they're comfortable with social media, have.
Please like, subscribe, comment, and share. Let's get busy.